So great to meet you all. My name's Liam Sharkey, Director of Growth here at Mutual Value Labs, part of the Economics of Mutuality Alliance. Brief agenda for the info session today is an intro from me to Mutual Value Labs and the Economics of Mutuality. Some more in-depth overview of the program itself from Gianna Golding, our learning lead here at Mutual Value Labs. And then more of an informal panel discussion with a few kind of superstars in this space. Charles Wookey, who has been a tutor on the program since its inception, I believe, and the former CEO of Blueprint for Better Business here. And Shabuti Iyengar, who is an alumni of the program and Global Demand People and Organization Director at Royal Canin, who is based in France. And then we will have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. So if you please use the Q&A feature throughout, and we will get through as many questions as possible at the end of the presentation. Yeah, looking forward to this. Thank you. And so a brief overview on the next slide of our organization. The Economics of Mutuality Alliance is a non-profit based in Geneva, headquartered in Geneva. And we are an alliance that really works to challenge the norms of stakeholder capitalism. And we help companies put human and environmental flourishing at the heart of value creation. We do this by working with stakeholders across many ecosystems. Our foundation predominantly works with public sectors and non-profits and academia. We have an investment arm that really looks to mobilize private capital. And Mutual Value Labs is our consultancy and education provider that really works with businesses to implement new business models to further the cause of human flourishing and really working together for the common good. And slightly more information on that on the next slide. Yeah, and so we are owned by the non-profit Economics of Mutuality Foundation, and we challenge the norms of stakeholder capitalism through consulting and executive education. But what is mutuality? I think that this is the bedrock of everything that we do here. For us, mutuality is the guiding principle that to win in business does not require someone else to lose. And businesses need to meet this moment by creating mutual value so that we can use our position as the chosen levers of innovation in society to meet the needs of people and planet, but do it in a sustainable and profitable way. The Economics of Mutuality emerged from a multi-year innovation program at the Said Business School through Oxford University that really sought to answer some key questions. We were previously the internal economic think tank at Mars Business. And one day, and Mars had been led by the principle of mutuality for decades. But there was a real simple question that the family at Mars asked our team over 10 years ago. What is the right level of profit that we should be making? And where are we best suited to have a positive impact in the world? And so this is where the Economics of Mutuality Foundation and Alliance was born, in that real trying to bring an academic rigor to answer that question and bridge the gap between academia and ambitious, responsible business leaders. And we're creating a kind of proven model for purpose-led growth, which is where the Economics of Mutuality came from. And Gianna, do you mind the next slide, please? And so the economics of mutuality is a business innovation. It is an operating model. And when I think we talk about the benefits of adopting the economics of mutuality, there are fairly obvious ones that we have highlighted on the screen here. But I think that we always need to begin with the moral benefits. I think that there is nobody on this call right now that would believe that our current economic system and the current way that the businesses interact with the people and planet around them is optimal and is going to really meet the moment that we are in. I think that nobody likes to look back at their business career and be proud to tell their grandkids that they optimize shareholder value at the expense of the next generation and at the expense of the communities in which they were situated. But the real difficulty, I think, of taking that inner philosophical almost belief of wanting to use your position to further the communities that you're in, it really meets a difficult moment in business. And many people that we speak to do not have a real articulation of how to use business to meet this moment. And I think that for me, speaking to our alumni and speak to the people that we work with, that is one of the major benefits that the economics of mutuality provides, is that framework and it's that articulation so that you can bring your business with you and you can bring the people that you work with along you on this journey. And I love this quote from Loïc Moteau, who's the global president of pet care at Mars, because the economics of mutuality allows the team there, and this is a $20 billion+ revenue business, to bring their moral beliefs to work in a way that is incredibly profitable. And the economics of mutuality and the desire to create mutual value means that you can meet the challenges of this moment in a way that also affects the bottom line in a positive way. Finally, is this for me? Who do we cater for in this course? So I think that we look for courage and we look for people with a strong sense of conviction and about where they want to see the change in the world. There is no minimum requirement in terms of tenure. However, we require business leaders who have responsibility and are in a position to affect change in their businesses. So typically that is P&L responsibility, strategic leads, innovation leads, and anybody involved in the wider strategy of a business. Typically, this is the C-suite. You'll see an awful lot of quotes here in this presentation from very big businesses, sovereign wealth funds, Nike, Mars, MasterCard, but we also cater for ambitious SMEs as well. But all we ask for is that commitment to and real deep desire to change the way that your businesses are run and to bring all of the people in your business along with you. And finally, the commitment, it is up to 5 hours a week. We try our best to be as flexible as possible, given the seniority of the people on our courses, the individuals on our courses. And I think Gianna will go through this shortly, but we do not want people to pay for this course and then not take the learnings and not give it the commitment that we believe that is required to really affect change. I've listed some logos of the businesses that we work with below. But if there is any query about whether this is for you, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. And I will pass on to Gianna now just to give some more specifics about the program. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Liam. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name's Gianna Goulding. I'm the Learning Lead at Mutual Value Labs. I just wanted to spend a bit of time talking you through some of the details of the program. So as you may know, Leading with Purpose, the name of the course, it's a 9-week fully virtual learning journey. And it's, as Liam mentioned, it's designed to be flexible to fit alongside your existing commitments. And it's, roughly 5 hours per week. And that includes a combination of live teaching sessions. So those are whole cohort sessions held on Zoom. There's also small group discussions, which includes breakout discussions, as well as tutor groups, which I'll tell you more about in a moment. And there's a variety of self-paced learning activities. So that includes things like pre-reading, videos, podcasts, some reflection activities, and also micro experiments to practice in your organization. Just in case you don't already have the dates of the program, this next cohort is kicking off on the 1st of October, running through to the 3rd of December with a 1-week break. And you can find those dates on our website. So throughout the learning journey, you'll also have support from very experienced facilitators, one of whom is on the call at the moment. Carla is joining us here. If you give us a wave, Carla, we'll come back to you in a moment. And you'll also have the support of experienced tutors, and we have Charles on the call today as well, and we'll be hearing more from both of them shortly. So the way that it works is that, as well as the live teaching sessions with everyone, who are led by the facilitators, you'll also be put into smaller tutor groups. So these are groups of around 5 other learners. Business leaders such as yourselves, with the support of a tutor throughout the whole journey to kind of help you with your learning, answer your questions, and just kind of guide you and give you support. And all of the learning materials and content is hosted on a digital learning platform, which you can access from wherever you are. So what actually can you expect from the course? I'm just going to bring up the notes here in front of me so I don't forget anything. So ultimately, what we're looking to do is provoke your thinking and give you new ideas around this concept of mutuality that Liam just introduced. And the way that we do that is you'll hear from expert practitioners, so that's business leaders, and also world-class professors from universities all around the world. But for us, it's not just about introducing you to new theories or new frameworks, although obviously that is part of the course. But for us, practicality is a really important principle. And so we want to give you, practical tools and practical strategies to help you take this into your organization. And to do that and to support your learning, we give you lots of tangible real world examples and case studies. So you'll hear, stories from business leaders who've tried this approach and have, tested it out in their organizations and can share back what they've learned and what their experience has been. And alongside that, we also want to foster a sense of community. The reason we do that is because we believe that, this learning is made more possible if you have other purpose-driven peers around you. And that it also helps to kind of hold you accountable, support your learning. It makes you more likely to succeed ultimately. So, alongside this wider cohort that you'll have access to, you'll have your tutor groups. And at the end of the course, you'll also have access to an alumni community. So at the end of the course, you should leave with a fresh leadership mindset and a set of new capabilities. Because, of course, this learning journey is about you as a leader and helping you to develop with those new capabilities. But it's also about, we want you to help you take that into your organization. So, we want to balance that with kind of what's the practical approach to how you implement this, how do you land that change in your organization and bring others along with you on the journey. We'll talk more about all of this in a second, and we will have a bit of an informal chat with Charles and Sabati and Carla. But before we do that, I just wanted to highlight what happens after you complete the program, because we believe that the learning doesn't just end when the course ends. So at the end, you will receive an official certificate of completion from Mutual Value Labs and a badge you can add to your LinkedIn. You'll also be invited to join our global alumni community. Liam mentioned a few of the business leaders who've already completed the course. There's, I think, almost 500 people in that community now from all over the world. And so as well as kind of being able to connect with them, we also run exclusive events. Last week, we actually just ran a masterclass for our alumni. We also do peer learning events. There's dedicated online discussion spaces and tools. So there's a whole kind of world of opportunities that arise from being part of this alumni community. There's also the option to continue your learning and deepen your practice through the Economics of Mutuality certification program, if that's something you're interested in. So that involves a kind of optional additional assessment in order to gain the certification, which is kind of a way of externally signaling your expertise and credibility, as well as kind of being able to deepen that practice and bring that into your work. And I'm happy to share more about that if anyone's interested. And finally, once you complete the course, you'll continue to have access to the course materials for a year after the program ends. Okay, Liam, I'll hand back to you to lead us in the conversation.
Great, thank you so much, Gianna. That was really useful. And so I'd just like to welcome Shibhuti and Charles. Shibhuti, do you mind just an introduction to everyone on the call, please?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Very nice to meet all of you virtually, and it's a fantastic opportunity to be here. I'm Shibhuti. I lead people and organization for global sales and marketing and corporate affairs, which is global demand at Royal Canin. I am currently based in the south of France, where Royal Canin is headquartered. I'm from India, and I worked across diverse sectors, and I joined Mars and Royal Canin 4 years ago.
Great, thanks so much. And Charles, if you mind, please.
Hi, everybody. So Charles Wilkie, I've been involved with the Economics of Mutuality for a few years now. Not quite since the beginning, but I've been a tutor on the course for 3 years.
Apologies for that.
Not at all. I helped set up a charity after the financial crisis called A Blueprint for Better Business, which really was promoting organizational purpose at a time when there was a lot of soul searching after the financial crisis about the distrust of business. And I spent 10 years leading that charity and found the Economics of Mutuality a wonderful complementary approach with some great thinking in it, which is why I got involved. So I've been on the journey with the Economics of Mutuality and the Mutual Value Labs for that reason. I think it's a great innovation.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. And we're super lucky that Carla has managed to join. Carla is going to be one of our course directors alongside Alistair, Colin Jones, and Carla's based in Singapore. Carla, do you mind?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Lovely to be here with you all. So as Liam mentioned, I'm originally from the UK, but I've lived in Singapore now for 14 years. I came here for 2 years, as anyone who does an overseas assignment knows. It never stays like that. My background's in organisation transformation, change, and supporting organisations going on their purpose-led journey. My connection to Mutual Value Labs is I did the programme myself last year. So I'm an alumni of the programme, and I found it honestly to be such a brilliant community where I now feel less alone in my mission to really help organisations feel more purposeful. And I look forward to seeing many of you hopefully on the programme this year as we launch.
That's fantastic. And we're great. And we feel really grateful to have 2 of our alumni here. And I think that really talks about the community that we want to bring together here. That is not just, you do not just finish the course and then take this away. It's really something that we want to bring together. And Shibhuti, do you just want to talk about what kind of drew you to the program? What were your kind of key takeaways?
Absolutely. So even before I joined Mars, when I was just researching about the company, that's when I first came across economics of mutuality as a concept. I had a background in rural development and social work, and I had always looked at how organizations create larger value in society. So I had seen that in technology, I had seen that in dairy, I had seen that in services. And when I was considering my next best move, I really wanted to be part of an organization where business meant something bigger and more impactful. So that's what really drew me to the program. And the moment that I had an opportunity to sign up, I raised my hand right away.
Wonderful, wonderful. And in terms of kind of what you learned and what you took away, are there any kind of key aha moments or key highlights from the program that you've managed to integrate back into your work?
Absolutely. So the program has a wide range of tools which are available to just start implementing even for a specific initiative. You learn a lot about theory of change. You learn about storytelling, which is how one really drives the story and drives the real impact that an initiative could possibly create. There's a lot of inputs around purpose and how crafting the true purpose of your own personal purpose, but also of a certain initiative can make a huge difference in how we then frame that particular initiative. If I talk about some specifics of how I am implementing the learnings, Royal Canin, as you heard, has always been founded on this recommendation model, which is that we create value for the larger ecosystem, but it's also going through a lot of change. The external ecosystem is changing significantly, and we are trying to rewrite the way that we look at recommendation, and being part of the leadership team with this kind of training really makes a difference in how we rewrite without losing the essence, while continuing to create value for our stakeholders, but keeping external realities like consolidation of e-commerce, consolidation of veterinary chains in mind. So that's more at an influencing at a strategic level. A little bit closer to home, because I'm a human resource professional, is this whole piece about building skills and capabilities as the best way to equip our associates to drive change. And we recognize that if we could build skills and capabilities fast enough, we would never have to do org restructuring, for instance. Like we would be able to move with the times. So we are working on a large initiative around capabilities, which directly connects back to the human capital value creation, which we learn in Economics of Mutuality.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting. It's fascinating. And the new employees do not want to work in businesses that are solely focused on shareholder value. It's an old model that seems very outdated. Charles, you've worked in this area for many years. What do you think of kind of the major benefits in 2025 of purpose-driven organizations and businesses adopting the economics of mutuality?
Well, I mean, 2025 we're in a very different place from 5 years ago, certainly from 10 years ago. I mean, as I mentioned today, when we started Blueprint, there was a lot of genuine interest in trying to find a different model of business after the financial crisis. And then purpose became very trendy in 2015, going up to 2020. A lot of organizations did an awful lot of interesting things. There was also a lot of new wallpaper without necessarily so much deep thought. But I think what we've now seen, for various political reasons and economic reasons as well, is this pushback against a kind of a broader approach to purpose-led business, the woke agenda. So they're headwinds now. And I think this is always, business. There are waves that come and go, and trends in business life and in the use of words and language. But I think I've always thought that the core question that purpose-led business poses is about what the role of business in society is beyond simply making money. And can we imagine a world in which businesses genuinely exist to create positive impacts on society and on the planet, and thereby, through doing that really well, deliver sustainable, profitable profits? And what I've found in the Economics of Mutuality is a combination of both what we did at Blueprint, which is to say this is fundamentally about mindset. It's how you think about what you're trying to achieve. It's not just a tool. It's how you think about your relationships with people and what a business can be for. And then allied to that, with that provocation around mindset, a set of ways of thinking and acting in service of it. One of the things I've felt at Blueprint sometimes is people in business would rush to the solution without stopping to think about why. And we're all action addicted. And I think one of the great things about this course is that it balances and provokes both the need to think about why am I here, my own personal purpose, what am I trying to achieve through my work? And in that context, thinking about the way these tools can be used with the right mindset to achieve change within an organization. And I think it's very exciting. And I've seen certainly in the cohorts that I've been a tutor on, how people have brought these tools to life in the way in which they're using them in their own businesses. And so I think it's the combination that both the provocation around purpose and also thinking about ecosystem mapping, thinking about how you can create interventions in service of an inspiration from your purpose, that the Economics of Mutuality has really created something I've not seen anywhere else. So I think it's powerful. It's good.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. And you talk there about your role as a tutor. And I think that in terms of the course, one of our main kind of points of differentiation is that those tutor roles, it's really human-centered learning. This is not just your typical kind of online course. Would you mind just briefly outlining how that works and the role of the tutor in this?
Yeah. No, sure. Well, as Jared explained, so the course has got this combination of 9 sessions, which are every week, which are for plenaries essentially. So they're 2-hour sessions, and then interspersed with those 9, the tutor groups meet for an hour 5 times during that course. Once before the first plenary, and the final one is after the last one. And I see the role of the tutor really as an accompanier. You're an accompanier of the people doing the course and facilitating a conversation between them and going with the curiosity of the group and seeking to deepen the learning and share experience. And also one of the things that we do in the tutor groups is in each of the 5 sessions, 15 minutes of it is somebody being put in the middle of the room as a kind of thinking circle. Some people call it a love seat, which is a kind of one way of thinking about it. But it's a way in which everybody gets a bit of free consulting on whatever it is that they're experimenting with, that they're challenged by. And some of those, just a quarter of an hour, are super powerful. So the great thing about it is that you're integrating together both the learning from the plenaries and your own experience at work today and the experiment you might be thinking about, and using the experience and wisdom of the group to try and deepen the learning and share challenges and explore together. So the groups are great, actually. I've hugely enjoyed being part of them. But it's a self-led, it's peer learning and peer support, and going with the curiosity of the group.
Yeah, and we never talk about our students. It is always participants. It is participant-led learning, which is super powerful, and especially in the modern world. Carla, you did the course last year, and your course director this year. Is that how you experienced it?
Yes, definitely. I would say, everything that Charles and Shebati have referred to, it's like a real inner journey of change as well as an outer journey in terms of feeling really like you've got a strong and robust toolkit that you can refer to, but that also you've done enough self-reflection and inner work to really go out and lead change really differently. Because, as we all know, if you want to do things, as Charles said, that are right now kind of a bit more controversial to be, leading in this way than maybe it was a few years ago, then you need a support group. You need to feel like you've got that inner resilience to really do things differently. So I definitely feel I walked away with not just, lots of theories, models and tools I can use, but just a sense of confidence and clarity that, I'm not alone in wanting to lead businesses in this way, which I think we all need right now.
Yeah, Exactly. I couldn't agree more. And have you managed to keep in contact with a number of your cohort?
Yes, I have. I'm very lucky that there's a lovely group of us in Singapore. And, actually, strangely enough, people that I didn't know before the program. So that's been really nice to have, humans in my city that I connect with, but also, through the online community, I can also see lots of other people that I can connect with and reach out to. So that online community is really helpful as well, just to ask questions to and learn from, and people use it quite actively. So it's a really great resource.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And Shabuti, I presume that you've a similar experience.
Yes, absolutely. I am in touch with some of the alumni outside the company as well. Being part of Mars, I also have a large group of my colleagues who we now speak the same language, and we can talk about similar concepts. Even just after a work meeting, we can quickly share notes.
I love
But
it.
the outside the company network helps me a lot because it gives me information, and it also gives me a different way of synthesizing and processing what's happening internally. So very grateful for that.
So that's great. It's not just, and it's not just practical, but it's also great for the soul to see that there are other people who who see the role of business in the same way that we all do as well. Great. And so for everybody else listening in, we were very happy to accept any questions. Now, I saw.
Got one question from
Yeah. Oh, great.
Bakati. Yeah, I think that's for Shabati.
Oh, great. Shabati, do you mind? So, how mutuality initiatives role kind of affected employee motivation and engagement?
It has a huge impact, really. So everyone who works at Royal Canin as a business, if you talk to them about why, the first thing that they shared is because we really believe in the purpose of the organization, which is to create a better world for cats and dogs, but also the how, which is that we want to create value for all the stakeholders who are involved in creating a better world for cats and dogs, including the veterinarians, the breeders, the pet stores, and the pet owners who take so much of responsibility and who want to learn so much more. So I sometimes joke that when the why is clear, people can put up a lot more about different challenges that the business has. Because and it's very similar at a human level as well. So when your why personally is clear, then we are able to really go through very different journeys to meet that why. So absolutely, it's one of the things that really drives employee motivation. Those who join us externally, for them, it's very refreshing to join a business where purpose and the recommendation model is at the heart. It's not just lip service. They, even though the onboarding could be messy, or even though they have other challenges in how they onboard in the role, they truly value that, and value that to an extent that it motivates them to stay on for much longer, because they have been outside and they really see how this is different.
Great. And Charles, in your experience working with multiple businesses at the moment to implement purpose and change the way that they view themselves and decenter their financial goals. What is the effect of the new generation and new employees and Gen Z on their motivations for implementing the economics of mutuality?
Well, I mean, one reason that certainly a number of the businesses that I work with got very excited about this and saw the business need for it was because they recognized that if they were going to attract and retain some of the most talented people in that generation, they needed to do this, because they were being asked, well, why should I come and work for you? How is the world a better place as a result of you guys being successful? So it became a recruitment need, actually, apart from anything else. But I think also I mean, the workforce is changing so fast now, and we have 3 or 4 or sometimes 5 generations in the same organization with quite different worldviews. And I think that there's no doubt in my mind that this shift, although there are these headwinds which I mentioned earlier, I think the fundamentals are not shifting, and the reasons why business needs to be and be seen to be better for society, better for nature, are absolutely clear. And so I think organizations, although some of them have had difficulties, some of the ones I work with have certainly had difficulties, but I think the longer term trend is absolutely clear. And I think business leaders who push this genuinely and think through, you have to think through both performance and purpose together. There's no way you can deliver this without also being financially successful. But I think one of the great things about the discussions we have on the course is how you do that. How do you navigate in a way which does actually enable the business to be financially successful and at the same time become more powerfully purpose-led? And it's a non-trivial problem. And in the tutor groups, a lot of the conversations are actually about this. How do you actually really make this work? And how do you avoid it becoming corporate social responsibility on steroids, but how it becomes and is actually something that drives the core business, which is where the examples of companies like Royal Canin become so powerful, and the other case studies which we look at on the course, because people can see in practice, oh yeah, actually these guys have done this and they're doing it. It's not finished, but it's real. And that's, I think, in a way, the most powerful thing to my mind is where people see lived examples of large organizations really attempting to do this and not just paying lip service to it. And when I was running Blueprint, I realized that the most powerful agent of change is social contagion. It's when people see other organizations and other people of a similar seniority to them in different organizations actually trying something different, not necessarily always succeeding, but going for it. And I think the power of the course partly is in bringing people together to share what can be done and what is being done, and go away more confident and more equipped to try and be agents of change within large companies.
Here. And case studies. I think we are super lucky to have a wealth of over a decade's worth of academically rigorous case studies of businesses who have implemented models like this or similar. And yeah, the ability to take those learnings into your organization to persuade others and bring them along this journey is really powerful. We have one other question from Howard. I know that I answered this in the chat about Bruno Roche. Bruno is no longer working officially with Economics of Mutuality. He left a number of years ago. But as I think I mentioned, we're all still pulling in the same direction to a mutuality-driven economy. But officially, we're no longer connected. A lot of the genus of the course content comes from a book that Bruno contributed to a number of years ago. But yeah, he's doing his own thing now.
I just wanted to jump in with one of the questions we often get asked, which is around, are there any prerequisites for joining the course? So any kind of specific qualifications or formal experience, you need to have in order to join? The answer to that is no, there's no formal requirements. You don't need to have, read any specific books or, or have any kind of qualifications in order to join. It's more about your role within the organization, your level of career experience, your kind of, I guess, potential to have impact in your organization. Liam, I don't know if you want to add a little bit more about that in terms of the sort of criteria.
No, so I think that you've covered that really well. It's mindset and courage, but then it's your ability to affect change. So I think it might be useful just to talk about the typical participants that we see are fit into a number of buckets. So we're seeing more and more investors, impact-driven investors, people who are looking to deploy capital from philanthropic organizations, a number of faith-driven investors who have been in previous cohorts as well, and then strategy, innovation, C-suite leaders, CFOs, CEOs of businesses of varying sizes. Our last cohort, we had CEO of Americas at YSL, who did the course, and then CEO of smaller businesses who are looking to take the course content and adapt it to their circumstances as well. We're getting more and more sustainability professionals who are interested in the course. I saw the JP Morgan sustainability report that came out last week that was 88% of sustainability professionals now see their role as value creation. It is coming out of compliance and into strategy. And that's where we fit. And that's where we have tried to move business for the last decade. So generally, those are the buckets that we see of interested participants. But yeah, I think, Jenny, you're right, that it's about a desire to affect change and a desire for a framework that allows you to bring your entire business with you. Great. So there are no other questions here. I think that was really great, and I'd like to thank all of the attendees for taking the time to listen to us. I will be in contact with my contact details, but please feel free to reach out and set up a separate call with me. Yeah, in terms of key deadlines, we have an early bird discount deadline in a few weeks. And then the application deadline is at the end of August. I will be sure to be in contact with you all to arrange any follow-up conversations. I'm very happy to take that time. Can I also just say massive thanks to Carla Shabuti and Charles and Gianna for arranging this and for taking your time out to try and spread the message. A super useful session. Thank you.